Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. 皆さん、こんばんは。よろしくお願いします。And good evening everyone. And it's been a long time. So, actually it's been about a week, maybe almost 2 weeks. So let's get straight into this and let us discuss about what has happened. So today I'm going to be showing some molt updates and also feeding those tarantulas that molted about a week ago. So it's very straightforward. So let us discuss about where I've been. So I did sold some tarantulas, but currently I'm holding those tarantulas because the weather is not so great for both the East Coast and West Coast of the United States. So for the East Coast, there's a lot of snowstorms and blizzards, which is causing delays in shipping. And then on the West Coast, they had a wildfire and a lot of people got displaced. A lot of homes were damaged, lost. So some of my orders that I've gotten, they're currently on hold until next month. And that's basically what I've been doing, is basically just monitoring and caring for people's orders until they're ready to go out. And I've also been working on my taxes for my business, Laxow Legacy, and that has actually taken up more time than I expected. And it is that time of year where it's tax time here in the United States, so the tax systems are currently full of calls, and a lot of my calls are basically, they're just put on hold. And there are basically days where I'm just waiting for something to happen and nothing happens. And that's the reason why this video is extremely late. And I do want to apologize for that, but please understand though, it's really just because of things I can't control. Now I do want to take this time to actually address and answer some questions because a lot of people have been asking questions during my absence. So I have gotten a few of them. So let's answer these questions that I've gotten through my emails. So let's start with the first one. Did I quit? No, I did not. I don't plan on quitting on tarantulas just yet. I don't think I've stated this before, but I will state this now. There are basically only two ways that I will retire from tarantulas. One is if a new career path opens for me that I've been pursuing, or two, I get married. Those are really the only two ways I will actually stop from tarantulas, but I honestly don't think any of those two will happen anytime soon. I'd say the closest one is probably going to be a new career path, but I really don't know if an opportunity will open up for that. So honestly, I'm going to be here for a while. So don't worry about that, everyone. The second question, did I just took the money and ran off? No, I've just been busy with my taxes because it's that time again for business taxes. And also I've been holding on people's orders. So I'm basically taking care of people's tarantulas for them until they're ready to ship out. And then question number 3, Laxow. Since it's cold on the East Coast here in the United States, why don't I just ship out tarantulas using 2 heat packs? And allow me to say this, do not ship any animals using 2 heat packs because you are basically going to be cooking your tarantulas or animals. Anytime you use a heat pack, it will take about 40 minutes to an hour before it reaches its peak temperature, which is over 100 degrees in Fahrenheit. I believe it's around 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which that's the hottest the heat pack will get. The reason why it gets that hot is because 1, it's heating up because it's freshly opened, and 2, the whole point of it is that once it hits that peak temperature, that heat spreads throughout the insulated box, so it warms up the entire box entirely. And then once it hits that peak temperature, the temperature drops down to the 80s, which is where it maintains the heat and basically insulates the box from the outside temperatures and things like that. And that's really the only reason why you basically only use 1 heat pack. Now, some people say, why don't you just open 2 heat packs, let it heat up, and then once it drops down to the warm temperatures around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, why don't I just put that into the shipping box? And you really don't want to do that because then the heat is not going to spread throughout the entire insulated box. And instead, the heat is only going to maintain one side or one specific area of the box when you're shipping a tarantula. So typically, you just use 1 heat pack, and that's basically all you use. The only exception is if you ship a tarantula or a reptile or an animal in a very large box to where it requires more than 1 heat pack. But for the most part though, a lot of tarantula orders, the biggest box I use is a 10 by 10 by 10, and even though that may seem kind of big for being a cube-sized shipping box, really 1 heat pack is more than plenty for that size. And I hope that answers the questions in regards to heat packs because man, a lot of people don't really understand how they work, it seems. And I guess I'll address this question as well. Some people have asked why don't I breed more often now, and the answer is simple. I still got to get rid of my inventory that I currently have because it's taking up a lot of space because these are not slings. these are larger juveniles slash subadults slash adults that I gotta sell. Second, slings take up a lot of space. Basically what I'm saying is that one egg sac is a lot of tarantula slings, and if you breed, let's just say 4 tarantulas for an example. 4 tarantulas means 4 egg sacs, and those 4 egg sacs can equal thousands of babies. So really, it's just because of my limited space. And I actually have gotten rid of a lot of my personal collection because I had to make space for that inventory, which I'm selling now. And I have to say, I don't really get too attached to my own personal tarantulas. There's only about 5 of them that I would keep, but for everything else, I don't really get too attached, and if I do gotta make space, I will let them go. Which this is the reason why some of the tarantulas you saw in the past, you don't see them anymore, is most likely because I've sold them away, I gave them away to other future tarantula breeders, or something of the sort. And yes, I do give away tarantulas for free at times, but I really only give away free tarantulas to tarantula breeders or to people I really trust. Now, I want to make this kind of clear. If I have given you a tarantula, especially an adult female or something of the sort, it's really because I believe in you or you have potential to do something great with it. And basically, you've proven to me that you can do something great. And really, I test every new tarantula breeder out. For example, if there's a new tarantula breeder that has a Brachypelma albiceps, for an example, and they say that's their future breeding project, breed it and prove it out to me that you can work with the species. And that's basically how I approach every new tarantula breeder. I look at what they have, what they're working on, and I tell them to prove it if they can breed it. And if they do prove it out, produce slings, then I'll actually start giving out, tarantulas to that person. But you have to prove to me that you have potential or that you're willing to do the work. If you're just trying to be buddy-buddy with me, you're not going to get anything out of me because I need to see a proven track record, because that is the thing that matters to me the most. And it's not because I want to play who's the better tarantula breeder. It's really just because I want to ensure that if I'm giving away female tarantulas or breeding pairs, I want to give it to people who are the future of this hobby, which is the future tarantula breeders. This tarantula hobby is very interesting, and you don't have to agree with me on this, but this is what I've noticed. The harvest at times is very abundant, but in terms of the workers and the people who put in the labor, they are very, very few and far in between. And this doesn't apply to all tarantula species and all tarantula breeders, but it's just something I've noticed every now and then, which this is just my perspective on some tarantula species and some tarantula breeders. But take it to what you will, because maybe by the time you're seeing this video, 5 years have passed and the times are different. But back to what I'm saying though, I do give away free tarantulas, and I do not just give away slings, because I know a lot of, big tarantula breeders, they give out like a sling or two, or they offer discounts just to be nice. I don't do that. I actually go out of my way to actually help out people that are actually trying to become a tarantula breeder. But as I stated, you need to prove something to me though. I can't just take promises, just so I know that I'm giving something to somebody that can do something with it. And I guess I'll call that for a video for today. Now I may be gone for the next week or two, maybe 3 weeks at most, because I'm just waiting to get my taxes done for my business, Laxow Legacy. So I don't want to make promises that I'll upload next week or the week after, but I will actually try. And as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to stick around, and please follow along on this journey. And also support me on my social medias such as my IG and Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon members for keeping my tarantulas fed and also keeping me going. A lot of support helps. And with that, everybody, stay lax and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.